Velammal Nexus students, this is SanmugaPriya and I'm working as a software developer in telecom industry. Now, today we are going to see the fundamental understanding of artificial intelligence. Before that, wishing you all happy Women's Day. Okay, let's go through the content. So the table of content today is what is artificial intelligence? And the next topic is AI development is 3 stage and what are they? And the third one is the type of artificial intelligence, and the fourth way is how many ways to achieve the AI. And finally, we are going to see how artificial intelligence are used in day-to-day life. Let's go to this course. So first, what is artificial intelligence? This diagram shows the complexity of all the topics that fall under the terms of AI. So, when asking this question, what is artificial intelligence? It's very easy to think of robots wanting to take over the world and enslave all humanity. However, this obviously is not the case. When we talk about artificial intelligence, we address how we can accomplish more by working with smart software. Artificial intelligence is essential technology that can learn, understand, and respond to a large amount of data. If you take a traditional software or program, it is supposed to do whatever we instruct perfectly without any errors. But can it get adapted to a new data sets? Can it alter its instruction by itself and evolving independently? The answer is no. So, this is where artificial intelligence come into play. Using computers to complete tasks that usually require human intelligence, such as tasks that include image recognition, which requires you to interpret what you see around you. And second is speech recognition, which requires you to understand language and making complex decisions based on numerous criteria and other such tasks. So in general, people tend to view the development of AI in 3 stages. The narrow intelligent. This is the type of AI that almost every AI algorithm that exists today falls into. Narrow intelligence refers to AI that is designed to perform one specific task, no matter how complex the task is. An example would be a poker game, where a mission beats human, in which all rules and moves are fed into missions. Here, each and every possible scenario need to be entered for manually. AI, whose task is to talk humans and to interact information from the internet or to play a board game, are all examples of narrow intelligence. Second is general intelligence. It refers to AI that are able to perform a wide variety of tasks. The machine that can actually think and perform tasks on its own just like a human being. There are no proper existent example for this, but some industry leaders are very keen on getting close to build a general intelligence. AI, which has resulted in rapid progress. However, for now, this is nothing but science fiction and a hope for future. The third one is superintelligence. This is the term coined by Nick Bostrom, the author of a famous book called Superintelligence. He defines superintelligence as any intellect that greatly exceeds the cognitive performance of humans in virtually all domains of interest. Think something like Skynet from the Terminator. Does it cool? People frequently like to talk about this subject along with ethical questions about AI. But just like general intelligence, as of right now, it is nothing but science fiction. Let's go through what are the types of AI. So the classification is based on functionalities. So let's go through one by one. First, The reactive missions. This is one of the basic form of AI. The reactive missions are basic in that they do not store memories or use past experience to determine future actions. They simply perceive the world and react to it. IBM's Deep Blue, which defeated chess master Kasparov in 1990s, is a reactive mission that sees the piece of on chessboard and react to them. It doesn't have past memory and cannot use past information to information for the future action. Second is limited memory. AI system can use past experience to inform future decisions. Some of the decision-making functions in self-driving cars have been designed this way. Observation used to inform actions happening in the not so distance further, such as a car that has changed the lane. These observations are not stored permanently and so-called Apple's chatbot Siri. The third one is theory of mind. This type of AI should be able to understand people's emotion, belief, thoughts, and expectations and able to interact socially, even though a lot of improvements are there in the field of this kind of AI is not completely it. And finally, we have self-awareness. An AI that has its own conscious and super intelligent self-awareness and sentiment. In simple words, complete human being. Of course, this kind of bot also doesn't exist and it will be one of the milestones in the field of artificial intelligence. Many ways to achieve AI. Let's see one by one. There are many ways to AI can be achieved. Some of them are as follows. Machine learning. This is a method where the target is defined and the steps to reach the target is learned by the machine itself by training, gaining experience. For example, to identify a simple object such as an apple or orange, the target is achieved not by explicitly specifying the details about it and coding it, but it is just as we teach a child showing multiple different pictures of it, and therefore allowing the machines to define the steps to identify it like an apple or an orange. Second is natural language processing, NLP. Natural language processing is broadly defined as automatic manipulation of natural language like speech, text, and by software. One of the well-known examples of this is email spam detection, as we can see how it is improved in our email system. The third one is vision. It can be said as field which enables the machine to see. Machine vision captures and analyzes visual information using a camera, analog to digital conversion, and digital signal processing. It can be compared to human eyesight, but it is not bound by the human limitation, which can enable it to see through walls. Now that would be interesting if we can have implants that can make us see through the wall. It is usually achieved through the machine learning to get the best possible results, so we could say that these two fields are interlinked. And finally, we have robotics. This is the field of engineering focused on the design and manufacturing of robots. Robots are often used to perform tasks that are different and difficult for humans to perform consistently. Examples include car assembly lines in hospitals, serving foods, patrolling farm areas, and much more. Recently, machine learning has been used to achieve certain good results in building robots that interact socially. Example, Sophia and Rashmi. Cool, right? And let's see autonomous vehicle. This area of AI has gathered a lot of attention. The list of vehicles includes car, buses, trucks, trains, ships, submarines, and autopilot, flying drones, etc. Example, self-driving cars like Tesla. AI software in the car is connected to all the sensors and connect input from Google Street View and video cameras inside the car. The AI stimulates human perceptual and decision-making processes using deep learning controls and control action in driver control systems such as steering and brakes. Okay, that's all the type of artificial intelligence and area of AI used. How can artificial intelligence be used? Nowadays, we have general and basic understanding of what AI as a whole is. Let's look at what it's useful for. AI can be used to solve a diversity of problems in a wide area of fields. To get better understanding of what AI can actually do in a real world, I find that helpful to look at few real world examples. So why don't we just do that? Okay, let's go through the real world examples. Example 1. The first is Amazon Alexa. Alexa, similar to Apple Siri or Microsoft Cortana, is a voice assistant that people can talk to. Alexa is able to play music, provide information, deliver news and sports scores, tell you the weather, and even control your smart home. The coolest part of Alexa is that she understands human speech and speech back to you with a human voice. That's cool. You don't have to type or anything. You just speak out loud and Alexa will understand. Alexa uses different strategies like voice recognition and natural language processing to recognize and process human voice commands into understandable statements. These are all forms of artificial intelligence. They fit our definitions of using machines to complete tasks that humans would traditionally perform. Second example would be Netflix recommendation system. Netflix has a recommendation system that we may not always take note of when scrolling through all the favorite TV channels and movies on the platform. Netflix keeps track of things that each individual watches and likes, and they try recommend other media that people would like based on their viewing tendencies. They have said that 75% of the media that people watch on Netflix are a result of recommendations made by Netflix recommendation algorithms. So, behind this algorithm are different forms of machine learning, a subsection of AI which we'll talk about soon. To deduce what shows people would interest in based on what they typically like to watch. They are designed to help users to find the right content for them in the massive sea of content on the platform and ultimately make the experience better for all the viewers. This type of technology would be possible without AI. The third example would be Facebook. So Facebook, the massive social media platform used by billions across the world, uses AI in a variety of different ways. I'll focus on two most notable things. First, Facebook uses AI for facial recognition purposes. Often, when you post a picture on Facebook, it will make suggestions about whose face are in the picture. This is done using facial recognition AI. We will talk about this much later. Second, Facebook makes advertisements using AI to target ads to the best audience. Specific advertisements are meant for specific audience. Think baby clothing advertisements for mothers. And Facebook uses AI to figure out which people are the best to show specific ads. The fourth example would be product recommendation system. A product recommendation system is basically a filtering system that seeks to predict and show the items that a user would like to purchase. It may not entirely accurate, but if it is shows you what you like, then it is doing its job the great. Amazon and other online retailers use AI to gather information about your preferences and buying habits, and they record them. Then They personalize your shopping experience by suggesting new products tailored to your own habits. Amazon will recommend many products from different categories based on what you are browsing and pull the products in front of you which you are likely to buy. Let's see how it does. This is achieved by collaborative filtering. The collaborative filtering algorithm which analyzes user behavior for recommending items. It uses the rating and review of the customer to display the products with a greater average in recommendation and best-selling option. Amazon wants to make you buy a package rather than one product. Cool. Say you bought a phone, it will then recommend you to buy a case or screen protector just by suggesting those products when you buy a phone. It will further use the recommendation from engine to email and keep you engaged with the current trend of the product and category. Also, when you search for an item such as Bose headsets, the search engine also shows related items that other people have purchased when searching for the same product. Now, you might have confused between what is AI and what is ML and what is deep learning. So let's clear out those doubts. So as you see the image above, there are three concentric circles. One is DI or DL. So DL is a subset of ML, which is also a subset of AI. Let's see what is AI, machine learning and deep learning. And we will see those differences and we will avoid the confusions among them. As you see the above image of three concentric circles, DL is the subset of ML, which is also the subset of AI. So deep learning is a subset of ML which makes the computation of multi-layer neural network feasible. And what is ML? Subset of AI technique which use statistical methods to enable machines to improve with experience. And finally, what is artificial intelligence? It's a big picture. A technique which enables machines to mimic human behavior. So let's go through one by one. So AI is all-encompassing concept that initially erupted, then followed by ML that thrived later. And lastly, DL that is promising to escalate the advancement of AI to another level. Let's dig deeper so that you can understand which is better for your specific use case. Is it artificial intelligence or machine learning or deep learning? So let's go through what is artificial intelligence and then followed by ML and DL. And you can understand the difference between them and let's summarize. As the name suggests, artificial intelligence can be loosely interpreted to mean incorporating human intelligence to machines. Artificial intelligence is the broader concept of that consists of everything from good old-fashionable AI, called GOFAI, all the way to futuristic technologies such as deep learning. Whenever a machine completes a task based on a set of stipulated rules that solves problems, algorithms such as intelligent behavior is what is called artificial intelligence. For example, such machines can move and manipulate objects, recognize whether someone has raised their hands or solve other problems. AI-powered machines are usually classified into two groups, general and narrow, as we saw previously. The general artificial intelligence AI machines can intelligently solve problems like the one mentioned above. The narrow intelligence AI machine can perform specific tasks very well, sometimes better than humans, though they are limited in scope. The technology used for classifying images on Pinterest is an example of narrow AI. Then, what is machine learning all about? As name suggests, machine learning can be loosely interpreted to mean empowering computer systems with the ability to learn. The intention of ML is to enable machines to learn by themselves using provided data and make accurate predictions. This is the method of training algorithms such that they can learn how to make decisions. Training in machine learning entitles giving a lot of data to the algorithm and allowing it to learn more about processed information. For an example, here is a table that identifies the type of fruit based on its characteristics. We have weight column, texture, type of fruit. So for 155 and the texture is rough, the type of fruit is orange. If the weight is the 135 and the texture is smooth, then it is apple. Then what is 120 and the texture is smooth? And what type of fruit? Can you guess it? As you see in the table above, the fruits are differentiated based on the weight and texture. However, the last row gives only the weight and texture without the type of fruit, and the machine learning algorithm can be developed to try identify whether the fruit is an orange or an apple. After the algorithm is fed with the training data, it will learn the differentiating characteristic between an orange or an apple. Therefore, it provides with the data of weight and texture. It can be predict accurately the type of fruit with the characteristic. Can you understand the machine learning? And the algorithm does that? Yeah. So let's jump into what is deep learning. As earlier mentioned, deep learning is a subset of machine learning. In fact, it's simply a technique of realizing machine learning. In other words, DL is the next evaluation of machine learning. DL algorithms are roughly inspired by the information processing patterns found in the human brains. Just like we use our brain to identify patterns and classify various types of information, deep learning algorithm can be taught to accomplish the same task for the machines. The brain usually tries to decide the information it receives. It achieves this through labeling and assigning the item into various categories. Whenever we receive a new information, the brain tries to compare it known as items before making sense of it, which is the same concept of deep learning algorithm employ. For example, artificial neural network (ANN) are the type of algorithms that aim to intimate the way our brain makes decisions. Comparing deep learning versus machine learning can assist you to understand their subtle difference. For example, while DL can automatically discover the feature to be used for the classification, and ML requires these features to be provided manually by humans. Furthermore, in contrast to ML, DL needs high-end machines and considerably big amount of training data to deliver accurate results comparing to ML. To summarize, artificial intelligence is a human intelligence exhibited by machines. And what is ML? Machine learning is an approach to achieve artificial intelligence. And what is ML? ML is a subset of artificial intelligence. In fact, it's simply an approach to achieve artificial intelligence. So, deep learning is a technique for implementing machine learning. So, these are the relationship between AI, ML, and deep learning. Hope you understood the difference between AI, ML, and deep learning in this session. Thank you. Enjoy happy learning.